Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days. And last week YouTube did something that I didn't think they were going to do. They got back in business with Logan Paul. They released The Thinning New World Order, which apparently is pretty bad, right? Apparently, it's not getting good reviews from those who have seen it. I haven't sat down to watch it yet. I intend to review it for $3 reviews at some point here in the next week, probably. But that being said, the controversy surrounding Logan Paul, the fake Suicide Forest video, and everything that came out of that one has been really causing everyone to look at only one person, and that person would be PewDiePie and his thoughts on the entire issue. And I'm here to tell you that PewDiePie is entirely right in his response. But before we jump into that response, do me a favor and toss a like on the video. It does help the channel get out there even more, and leave a comment too as we go through it. And with that, let's take a look here at why PewDiePie is right, saying PewDiePie rips YouTube for releasing Logan Paul's movie, but canceling his show. And again, that's true. They killed Scare PewDiePie Season 2 very quickly after PewDiePie after the Wall Street Journal had come out and shown was it 9 instances of him making off-color jokes, predominantly surrounding Nazis, and some have called it anti-Semitic. I don't really think that the joke on Keemstar is entirely anti-Semitic, but again, the internet's humor is the internet's humor. Trying to explain the Hitler did nothing wrong meme to normies is fun, because every time I get to explain it to them, they get the joke and they laugh and they go, oh yeah, that's really not that big of a deal. And like, yeah, because it's a stupid internet joke. But remember, this is the internet and no funds allowed. It says here, Logan Paul's YouTube redemption seems to be complete, and to PewDiePie, that seems awfully unfair. Almost a year after he shocked the online world by posting a video of a dead body in the Japanese forest, I'd again like to point out that was entirely staged and fake, and if you want my breakdown of it, you can find those. Paul surprisingly announced last week that his YouTube Premium movie was available for streaming. 10 months after Paul had been ostracized by the community, YouTube, unbeknown to most, had given him another huge platform with the release of The Thinning New World Order. PewDiePie, whose YouTube Premium series Scare PewDiePie was shelved for good in 2017 after he used anti-Semitic humor and Nazi imagery in his videos, is not pleased and sees it as a double standard, which is true. I mean, you can totally see that as a double standard, right? His video was criticizing YouTube for their actions, and calling it relatively unfair. And it was unfair, I believe, the way YouTube responded. But you have to understand, it wasn't, I want to say, and I'm not defending YouTube here, but I think this is my take on it. We were in a different world in February 2017 than we are in October 2018. The year and a half has vastly changed the landscape that we know on this platform. This last year and a half, things have been so remarkably different that this almost feels light in comparison to the bombshell that was that Wall Street Journal 90-second hit piece on PewDiePie, especially considering what happened next in regards to the Chief Keef video. That is what finally put the final nail in the coffin and triggered the adpocalypse. And then YouTube is just at this point trying to then reach out to different avenues. I reported on it yesterday that they're working with Vox and TED and a couple other companies. They're investing $20 million into educational content. So basically, if you are interested in creating educational content or DIY content, now is actually the time, because they're going to want to work with you, because this is where they want to take things away from the negative and focus more on the positive and educational. And in some respects, I don't blame them at all. As much as I love social commentary on YouTube, I also very much love watching DIY content and educational content, because I like to learn, and that is a good way to do it. Anyway, this is what PewDiePie said in his video. He says, I was asleep when they canceled my show. They canceled it just as the news broke. There was no question about it. It took no hesitation on that one. And I just want to point out that, yeah, because it was so new, it was so fresh, we hadn't encountered this kind of situation before. YouTube's #1 guy, right? Their go-to guy. He's the #1. At the time was PewDiePie, this in terms of subscribers, but let's be fair, Logan Paul outshines him in views any day of the week, right? It's just different audiences. But PewDiePie made a couple mistakes, and that was really about it, and it was nothing that couldn't have been forgiven. But it wasn't just the reaction from YouTube at the time. We have to also realize that Maker Studios, which was owned by Disney, right? Maker being an MCN that sold for $960 million a couple years ago, predominantly because PewDiePie was with the MCN and his own little MCN was a sub of that company. Those were all taken away. Disney fired him from Maker. They killed his company. They destroyed his company. YouTube pulled premium ads, and YouTube also canceled Scare PewDiePie Season 2. It's very similar to what happened with Alex Jones and the whole basically deplatforming from the internet. It was when one major big company, and let's be realistic here, Disney's bigger than YouTube and Google, came in and wiped the slate clean, Google followed suit. I'm not agreeing with it, but that's basically what happened. Logan Paul didn't have any deals with Disney. His brother did, but that ended last year over the whole housing controversy thing. And that's where we find ourselves. Now, it says with Paul's affiliation, though, YouTube took several days to decide whether to put Paul's movie on hold. Then less than 11 months later, they released it. And then PewDiePie says here, it's kind of amazing how a billion-dollar company can be so inept at leadership. If you want to be taken seriously, you need to apply the same rules for everyone. You can't just nitpick it whenever you want. Then you look like an idiot and people will be upset. Now, PewDiePie says he has no insight into the idea that Scare PewDiePie's second season could be reinvigorated, though he said the episodes have been shot and could be released. Meanwhile, YouTube told The Verge in a statement that it decided to release the Thinning sequel because the entire cast and crew had worked extremely hard to complete this film last year. In fairness to all of them and the fans who've been asking for the sequel, we decided to release The Thinning New World Order. And PewDiePie, just because I want to keep going with this, he says he took issue with the explanation because of all the people who worked hard on his series and because his fans have made noise that they want more Scare PewDiePie. PewDiePie also seemed sincere when he said he was happy that Paul's untimely project ultimately was released, saying, "This is why when the Logan Paul controversy broke, despite me clearly not liking him, I said I didn't think his show should be canceled. I meant that. Punish Logan for what he did, punish me for my mistakes, but to punish everyone involved on this project, these projects are so massive, it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair." And the thing with that is PewDiePie is right. He is. PewDiePie is correct in that. It isn't fair. Business and life aren't fair. That is a sad reality that we live in. But what he's referring to here predominantly is that, yeah, the big production that came in from the Thinning New World Order, which was a Lionsgate production in association with YouTube Premium, a lot of other people worked on that movie. The budget for that film was probably greater than Scare PewDiePie Season 2. But what PewDiePie here is saying is there were hardworking people on both, and both deserve their work to be seen. And I agree with that. I think Scare PewDiePie Season 2 should not have been canceled. I think they should have released it or at least held on to it for a while and then gone back and decided to release it. The big problem here, though, and I would like to just reiterate this, is that a couple months after PewDiePie and the Wall Street Journal came out, there was the N-word drop during a stream of PUBG, which kind of re-kicked the hornet's nest, if you will, and Logan Paul didn't really have that. Logan Paul went on a redemption tour with YouTube, doing a lot of other things to reinvigorate his image, and he's basically kind of gotten back to normal. PewDiePie has decided to embrace his more red-pilled side, so to speak, and start speaking out on issues that are controversial. And he's admitted this, he's acknowledged this. So the two have taken entirely different paths. But that doesn't even really matter, to be honest with you. What matters here is how YouTube responds. With Logan Paul, the way YouTube responded was by saying that The Thinning, which was owned by YouTube, was going to be shelved indefinitely. And then waiting 11 months in order to put it back, or well, 10 months really, to drop it, does seem like they are showing a little bit of favoritism. PewDiePie, they also owned Scare PewDiePie, but it didn't have probably as big of a presence as they might think. PewDiePie might have 67 million subscribers, and he does. And he's earned every single one of them, in my opinion. I am gladly subscribed to PewDiePie. But the daily content he puts out doesn't pull in anywhere near what Logan Paul does. And if you look at the world of business, which is what YouTube is, they're going to go with the business. Now, my personal theory on it is that they told Logan that it was going to be shelved, basically provided he doesn't do anything inherently stupid, which he, outside of the tasing of the dead rat, which was very close to the Suicide Forest video, he's been really, really, really low key. And I think that's the whole thing. Now, if YouTube comes out and they order The Thinning 3 and they order another movie from Logan Paul, at that point, yes, you can definitely argue that YouTube has in fact shown favoritism and completely gotten back in Logan Paul's camp. What I would love to see here is a way to get YouTube's attention to have them finish and release Scare PewDiePie Season 2. Because it's not just Pewds that was in it. You have Jacksepticeye, I believe Ethan from H3H3, a bunch of other YouTubers, and you have a hardworking crew that put that thing together and that fans want to see. And if they don't want to release it through YouTube Premium, maybe they could sell it or something like that, and fans would buy it. But I think at the end of the day, you know what I wonder this too. I wonder if PewDiePie would be able to purchase the rights to it from YouTube. If they're not going to use it, would he have the ability to go in? Because keep in mind, it's been a year and a half. Option the rights, get the footage, and then get it edited, and then release it himself. That's something I would like to see YouTube do if they have no intention of doing it themselves. Give it to Felix, let him finish it, and then let him see it through to its completion. And then if he can get the rights to it, then he can fund his own Scare PewDiePie Season 3, which, you know what, I think he probably would. And I think if he did that, then it would show that YouTube is not as all-powerful as they want to be in the situation, and that maybe, just maybe, it would be better for them to work with people who get in trouble versus just trying to unperson them, which is what we've been witnessing for a very long time now. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it this far in the video, type PewDiePie in the chat so I know. Be sure to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you like what I do here, if you like my commentary, check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/mundanemmatt. Support the channel there. Great way to hang out, help out. And I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.